Hello class, this is homework help on page 237 and 238. Let's look at our first question. X minus 2 times x plus 5 equals to 0. Alright, so we see two factors. The first factor is x minus 2. And the other factor is x plus 5. Okay, so according to the zero product law, if they are multiplied to get 0, that means at least one of them is 0. So x minus 2 equals to 0, and x plus 5 equals to 0. So just solve it. Add 2 to both sides. Okay, your x equal to 2. This one, subtract 5 from each side. Your x equal to negative 5. So you do have a 2x value. You can write it in this way, 2 and negative 5. Okay. You're gonna follow the same steps for B and C. The only difference is you may have multi-step equation in order to figure out the x value. Now, what question 2 is different from the question 1 is, instead of seeing the product of the two binomial, okay, on the previous question, if you remember, that's two binomial multiplying to get 0. From here, we are able to apply the zero product laws. Okay, in this case, we cannot apply right away, but if we can write it in this way, that will help. So this is a coefficient 1, right? We need to factor the trinomial. Since the coefficient is 1, you know that the leading term in each binomial will be x, because x times x will give you x squared. Okay, now if you guys remember, we need to find two numbers that multiply to give you 16, C, right? And we need to find those two numbers. When you are adding them, they give you 10. Think about 16, right? That's quick, right? We have 2 and 8. If you add them, it does give you 10. So it's going to be 2, 8. And that is x plus 2, x plus 8. That equals to 0. To solve it, right? Now we have this one, and then we can apply the zero product laws. This one, x plus 2 equals to 0. You will get x equal to negative 2. And then you have x plus 8. This one equal to 0. And you will get x equal to negative 8. Okay. Now I'm going to try one more. Because I want to show you the box method for factoring when you do not have a leading equation, if leading coefficient is 1. So same thing, this is my goal, okay? This is my goal. So I need to factor this trinomial. So according to the box method, of course, you are going to draw a box. And that is 2 by 2, right? I have A, B, and C. So the first column you're going to fill with the factor of a, which is 3. For the second column, you're going to fill the factor of -4, which is c. Okay. So 3 and the factor of 3, you can just take 1 and 3. You don't have other choice, right? Well, only 1, 3. For -4, so here I'm thinking about 2 factors. One need to be a positive and the other one gonna be a negative because it's a negative product. So I have 2, +2 and -2. I also have -1 and +4. I also have -4 and +1. Okay, so I have 3 pairs. I need to fill those 2 2 space with one of the pair. Okay, let me try the middle one, this one. Okay, my goal is to get 11, all right, by cross multiply and add. Okay, so I'm gonna put 4 here. I'm gonna put -1 here. All right, cross multiply. 3 times 4 give me 12. 1 times -1 give me -1. When I add those 2 numbers, it give me 11, which is B. Okay, so that means this isn't the right pair we are looking for. I'm going to put the x here. Our first binomial is going to be 1x or x plus 4, my first pair. My second binomial will be 3x minus 1. And that is the new equation we're looking for, product of the 2 binomial. And then from here you can solve it because this factor could be 0. And also this factor could be 0. And just solve it. That is 1x plus 4 equal to 0. Minus 4 for each side. X equal to -4. For the second factor, same thing. You just have extra step. +1 plus 1. You have 1 and 3x. Right, divide both sides by 3. A lot of you like converting fraction, but it's not necessary. Leave it as a fraction, x equal to 1/3. Okay, so this is our 2x values. All right, then write it in this way, -4 and 1/3. Okay. I'm gonna skip C. This is easier than A and B because you only have 2 terms. Okay, so factor binomial, take out the GCF. For question C, I'm gonna just talk about the first step. Remember, you have 2 goals. When you have terms on each side, remember your first goal is to get rid of all those terms on the right side because you want 0. Okay, that one side be 0. That means you need to remove it by using inverse operation. Your second goal is to factor. So it will become the multiple of the 2 binomials. Okay? So keep that in mind. Okay, now let's work on our first goal. I want to get rid of 10x and 15. How? You cannot just take it away, right? You need to do the inverse. So subtract 15 from both sides. In that way, you can cancel it out. And also being fair. Also, you subtract 10x from both sides. Okay, let me just set a fence and just minus 10x. Alright, so that will become 0, right? The left side, you have x squared minus 4x. Sorry, not 4x. You are combining those two terms, so 4x minus 10x, that give you 6x. Negative 40 minus 15, that give you negative 55. Alright, now this is your first goal. The second goal, you need to factor that so that you will have something, a factor multiplied by another factor. In this case, gonna be binomial. Okay, two terms and two terms here. Okay, I'm gonna leave it to you guys to complete it. I'm gonna talk about the next question. Alright, so this question is exactly what we did in the class. Okay, so if you don't remember, go back to your notes. But I'm also going to show you the first step. Two equations, they are intersecting, and one's a quadratic, and the other one is binomial. Linear. So it's very possible your graph going to be, okay, 4x minus 5. So it's like, okay, let's say this is negative 5, this is negative 5 here. Your slope is positive, gonna be like this. All right, and for this one, negative, it will have 2 times. Okay, let's see, it's like this. Okay, I just sketch it. It's not 100% accurate, but you can see when you have a 0, 0, negative 10. Okay. Okay, something like that. Okay, not 100% accurate. You're gonna have a two intersecting point. Okay, this is not really accurate one, but you should have facing up parabola and going up linear, a straight line. Okay, so we need to find the intersecting points somewhere here and here, right? Intersecting point. That means they have two common solution, x and y. So since they have the same y value, right? So those two y is exactly the same number. They are equivalent. We know those two expressions, they're gonna be equivalent as well. Okay? So you write it down for yourself. 4x minus 5 equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 10. Alright, so this is your first step. I'm gonna let you guys figure out the rest, because this is exactly the same questions from 3, right? You want to make one side as a 0. Well, you can make the left side as a 0. Doesn't really matter. So you're gonna add 5 to each side, and then you need to subtract 4x from each side. Then when you have a 0 here, you have a 2x squared minus 9x minus 5, and you need to factor, so you're gonna have the product of two binomial. Alright, so the next one, okay, I'm only talk about what you need to do. We went over the same problems in the class. When you are finding the x-intercept, please remind yourself that that means y equals to 0. So for each equation, just change y, or just replace y with a 0, and then just solve it, right? So for the first one, this is, you can write it as s squared minus 9 squared. Do you remember what you need to do with that? that is a different square A